Welcome to Zach and Steve Have a Podcast. I'm Zach.
I am Steve.
I did it.
You crushed it, man.
Look at that.
It was like I did the countdown, and then you were just boom right on top of it.
It's probably because I'm so tired.
Yes. Okay. Let's just talk about that.
My brain's not firing fast enough for me to mess anything up.
The fact that we're bringing this is our commitment to this podcast. We literally just pulled in.
Yeah, from our mission trip.
From our mission trip, we were down in Pittsburgh. It was the shortest term mission trip you could possibly do. But I felt like we shoved probably 5 days worth of work into three.
Was it 3 hours? 4?
Well, I mean, it was Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, typically we do.
And we left Wednesday. We were here Wednesday night, left Wednesday night, and we're there Sunday. So
yeah.
Tack on 2 more days on both. On both sides.
Wednesday we just stayed the night here at the church. And that was an adventure in and of itself, having to sleep in the church.
Yeah, you think it's fun, especially like a teenager. I'm going to sleep in the church.
No way.
There's excitement to that,
There's no way.
Everyone loves an all-nighter, except the youth pastor. We despise all-nighters.
You're talking about the two of us?
Yeah.
The youth leader, pastors, whatever you want to call us.
Yeah.
We're exhausted. The shepherds. We're the shepherds of the youth here at New Life, both junior and senior high.
Yeah, but as a teenager, you think sleeping in the church is fun.
We talk about the shanty town that we set up down in that room.
Yes, we put it all,
chairs
all the
together.
pews together.
Yeah,
the chairs.
We took the chairs, all these separated chairs, and put them together, pointed towards one another. So there was like 2 sets of 4.
A raised platform to make a bed.
Yeah, yeah. It was basically.
I knew it was going to be a good trip because as soon as I'm like, okay, I got my seats together. This is my bed. I laid my sleeping bag down. Before I did anything, I'm like, I'm going to try this out. I lay down on these 4 chairs and I feel my back slip out of place because they're not super even. And I'm going, man, I got 5 days
the whole
to deal
time.
with this.
The whole time I'm sleeping on that bed. I mean, I slept. It was so intermittent. The sleep that first night because I could feel the one chair kept sliding out.
Yeah.
And it was just one of the 8 kept sliding out from under me. Our boys made up like their own little like weird loft that they had set up for the 2 of them. Oh gosh, our boys. So Zach and I all had the privilege of taking Zach has 2 kids. I took my 2 oldest kids on this trip. Now my 2 oldest are like your youngest and my oldest are the same age.
Yeah.
And then my son Luke is
a couple years younger.
Yeah, he was born in 2014. The other 2 were born in 2012. And Addie, your oldest,
was a member of the team.
She's 2010.
2010. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! All of our kids are 2 years apart.
Yep.
We spaced them out on purpose, just like that. But yeah, it was interesting to have everybody on the team. I mean, it's been just an interesting year having Addie in the youth ministry in general. But like as young as she is, she's like one of the hardest working kids.
Yeah. But everyone on the trip did an amazing
and I'm not.
job.
Yeah, I shouldn't be singling. The only reason I'm singling out one individual student is because it happens to be the person that I'm looking at's daughter
right now.
No, our entire team
did a tremendous job.
Okay. So I mean, I'm looking behind Zach at the seven Canada teams that I led. I mean, you look around the room, and there's the other mission teams. Zach and I's Jamaica trip up there, my Philly trip. There's a couple of New York trips. I don't know where those pictures are at. This is by far one of the best teams I've ever taken anywhere. And I'll tell you, my first Canada trip was easy.
Yeah.
It was a good team. It reminded me a lot of that team because the second and third year, I wanted to pull my hair out. To now where I did lose my hair. Now there was plenty of great kids on my second and third Canada trip.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids on that team that I had to constantly correct, and they were way old enough to know better. They're probably like in their late 20s at this point. But yeah, this team was so fantastic, and we. So let's talk a little bit about
our trip.
What we did. So we went down to Pittsburgh for the first time ever as a mission trip. So our what's it called? Children's director here at the church.
Yes.
She took a team down to Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago. And this is it was just this really cool thing that we all got to do somewhat together, but somewhat separate. In serving what would you call that? And and going out into Judea and Samaria, it's just like the regional
Yes.
trip. So we go.
Yeah, we didn't go to the ends of the earth.
We didn't go to the ends of the earth this year, no. But we got to like just experience our backyard.
Yeah.
And the vast need that is really in Pittsburgh.
For sure. And also in Newcastle, our hometown community. And
Yeah.
what we did was we went to different food banks, places where you served food to people in need. We went to, 3 or 4 different places, 3 in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, let's talk about the organization that we
Sure.
served with. We served alongside Light of Life
Yeah.
Ministry, which is an incredible Christian ministry serving the people of Pittsburgh. And they have 3 locations, about to be 4 locations down in Pittsburgh, where they do meals for men and women. They have housing, both temporary and long-term housing. They have rehabilitation programs to get guys that have struggled along the way back on their feet and get jobs and whatever they need to get along. Like the one place that we worked, I took a team of about 4 people to the one location in, I think, what is that, North Shore?
Yeah, on the North Shore.
Allegheny,
Yep.
by Allegheny General Hospital. I took them to that location, and one of the guys that we were working with, he was an intern. He was probably a guy in his late 40s.
Yeah.
But he was an intern. He was just getting his life turned around. He was the nicest dude. We loved working with him. And he's just getting like this Light of Life ministry. Praise God, they've just changed so many lives. And just provided so much for the city of Pittsburgh. But what blessed me the most was seeing there was a lot of things that really blessed my heart, and I think just really glorified God.
Yeah.
One of the biggest blessings was seeing people just show up with stuff.
Yeah.
So much stuff.
People not involved with the ministry, just
Yeah,
people
exactly.
just
That's what-
showing up
yeah,
with
I guess I
clothing,
wasn't really-
food, stuff like that, just dropping it off there. Out of the goodness of their heart, whatever God put on their heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they would just get like general donations from like food banks and that kind of stuff. But it was just out of the goodness of people.
Yeah.
Just doing this, and the women, the men and women that were working in the kitchen that I worked in, just so lovely. And they've even had hard lives, but they were so lovely and so giving and so gracious. I mean, making the food for these guys, they would serve about 80. They said anywhere between 80 and 90 men every breakfast and dinner. They only serve lunch to the people that are staying at the one location. But 80 to 90 people for breakfast and dinner, and they're just there making the food like from scratch. It's not like frozen stuff or anything. The one lady made her like special recipe of wings for dinner the one night. Yeah.
I didn't get to experience that part of it. I was more in the distribution centers, the food pantry, stuff like that. Our team went to a food pantry on the other side of Pittsburgh, where they got donations in from places like Trader Joe's and Giant Eagle, big bulk drop-offs of food. Mm-hmm. We had to sort the food and then send the food back out to other places that needed it. So we were kind of like, we went to the middleman place. But I didn't get to experience the kitchen. That would have been really cool.
The kitchen was amazing. It was a beautiful facility. The brand new facility for Light of Life, which you could donate to at any time. They said their biggest need for it isn't just necessarily food, even though food's a massive need. They said they need, for a lot of these people, especially men, are socks, men's underwear, and jeans.
Oh, wow.
Are the biggest needs constantly. Shirts are fine. They said, and this was one of those things that surprised me, but they said they always get these donations of like dress shirts and dress pants. They're like, a lot of these guys aren't ready for interviews, and a lot of the interviews that they're going to go on don't even require it. So they said unfortunately, a lot of the dress shirts and stuff are kind of useless for them. They said sometimes they have guys that need to have those for interviews, but most of the time they need good shirts, and they need like thermals, and they need good work, like, pants that can really take a beating. As they said, they live in these.
Yeah.
Where we take that kind of for granted, we get to wash our clothes and all that kind of stuff on a regular basis. These guys are living in this stuff. They said a good pair of jeans will last 3 months for these guys.
Oh, wow.
Where something like, we have jeans, and I've had jeans for 3 years. They said 3 months is usually the max. They said underwear is something they almost need new stuff on, every week to 2 weeks. They need new stuff. Socks, they need constantly need new socks because of just how much moving around they have to do, how much walking they do, and they don't always have the ability to wash their stuff.
Yeah.
So it wears out really fast. So if you're thinking about it and you're like, how can I be of service in some way? Donate to Light of Life. They could really use the clothes at any one of their locations. But their new location, like I was saying, is down, I think it's called like Votley Avenue. I'm trying to think what would be. So if you take the 28 exit when you're going down into Pittsburgh, if you're a Pittsburgher and you're coming down south on 79, on 279,
probably not too many people are going to know where that is.
Yeah, if you don't know,
it's on the north.
It's on the North Shore.
Yeah,
side.
It's down from the stadium just a little bit.
It's down from the stadium, the Pirates, and
that's where we turn to get down there.
Heinz Field.
Yes, not Acrisure. We'll get to that
we'll
later.
Get to that and mess it later. But it's down from Heinz Field.
That'll be after
and
the podcast.
PNC Park. Yeah, something like that. So they have this beautiful, gorgeous, state of the art location that they could house. I think like 50 men.
Wow.
In temporary housing and 30 some women in more of a not permanent, but like semi-permanent housing. It's just, my goodness, man. So anyway, we're serving food on the first day. We did breakfast and lunch on the first day. The thankfulness of the people that we were serving just touched my heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was so beautiful to see, these 80 to plus people that went through this line, just all smiles and thankful for what they were being given. And these are people that have had hard lives. And I'm not looking to be thanked. I'm not the one I'm just providing. I'm just giving up time. I'm happy to do that, and my students felt the same way. But to see these people smile and be so kind and thoughtful, and even we wore name tags and they would call us by our names, and it was just such a beautiful picture of what the kingdom really should look like. Right. It's just kindness being shared between brothers and sisters in Christ, and caring for those who don't have anything. I mean, the earliest church, that's where they found their success. Was because they were the ones that were doing for others instead of just doing for themselves. Yeah. But
that's the human tendency to want to put yourself first and to serve yourself.
Yeah.
And as you mature just as a person, you become more and hopefully you become less and less selfish and see other people first. Mm-hmm. When you're a child, we've both got kids, right?
Yeah.
And if, say, you get one kid something, a toy on a vacation or something, if you don't get all of them a toy.
Oh, my goodness. We ran into this on this trip.
We did run into this on this trip. It's a fight, right?
Yep.
Because you don't, when you're, immature, you don't see things that way. You don't see all the blessings you have. You see the blessings that you didn't get.
I know, and that can be frustrating. So we're seeing these people that have nothing, so thankful for the things that were given, and then sometimes we would see things, within our children and others that were like, "Come on, have you not figured this all out yet?"
Yeah, but that's just what happens when
it does. We're humans, man.
When we're humans and we are still maturing,
and we're not, and we're just used to what we're comfortable with.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of the same thing too. Sometimes you stop and think, "Man, I just put myself before other people," and kind of feel really bad about it, and especially when you see such stark need, and then you think about myself, and I think about the things that I take for granted, the things that I do for myself, and then you feel really bad.
Yep, exactly.
and that's not the point of why you do things like this, but it's a good reminder, it's a good eye opener, just to see that, man, we need to stop complaining about stuff. We need to
stop complaining about what we didn't get and start thinking about, man, how can I bless other people?
Right.
We'll get into service here in a second.
Yeah.
Because service is essential.
Right.
To the Christian life. let's just do a brief recap of the rest of the week.
Sure.
Because, I mean, it kind of goes like this. Thursday, my team served at the food pantry, or not food pantry, I'm sorry, at the kitchen. Your team did a sorting project.
Yep, the food pantry.
Our other team made blessing bags.
Yes.
Which just had essentials for people that were going to be out on the streets. Which we had,
we gave socks.
And just small snacks that
chapstick.
Held on to. Just the bare essentials for being out on the street.
Yeah.
Just to help them as much as we possibly can. So they did that, and then Saturday, we worked at our food pantry in Newcastle, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And shout out to Pastor Trent and his whole crew. They are doing something amazing at our new location.
Yeah, we have a new location down there in Newcastle
on East Washington Street.
And you go to Pittsburgh and you serve in a big organization like Light of Life, but then you come home and you see all the stuff that's going on just in our hometown.
Doing just at the same caliber.
Yeah, same caliber. More in a lot of sense. The volume was so much that it was kind of mind-boggling how much food goes out of that place.
Yeah. I think what blessed my heart the most, too, in both of the things that we did, Light of Life and I just keep saying everything that blessed me. But it was honestly, this whole time it was truly a blessing, and everything we got to experience was this. Everybody that served, no, I'm not talking about our team. I'm talking about the people that were serving, that we were coming alongside to serve at the kitchen and the distribution warehouses, and then at the breadbasket. They were so kind and welcoming.
Yeah.
And accommodating. And
because we brought 15 people. A lot of them students, a lot of them in our kids.
Yep.
And it could
our sons.
Yeah, it can be very overwhelming. I can't get my son at home to pick up the socks off the floor.
Our sons, our sons they're wonderful boys.
But they're young. They're young. 9 and
I'll
7.
say this. I'll say, hey, Luke, are you paying attention right now, buddy? Listening to the podcast? I'm sure you're not. All right. Yeah. Anyway, he's saying that he listens to every one of these episodes.
It doesn't hear anything.
And he's not going to actually hear that I said his name and anything, even though he's going to be like, I did hear it.
Yeah, anyway. But you're right. The heart of the people that were serving and allowing us to come into their ministry.
Man.
Awesome. We brought the chaos. They took our chaos, ordered it, and then made it work in a way that got all kinds of stuff done. And I was kind of envious of that because part of our ministry is squirrel chasing, right? We do that all the time.
That's team ministry, baby.
Right, yeah. You're herding cats.
Herding cats in a lot of ways. Yeah. Hey, guys, over here.
Honestly, that's part of what I do teaching junior high is to think, how can I keep people focused for the entire time I'm trying to teach them? And so I can't just sit down and do a regular message. There has to be some sort of interactive element to it, or else it's just blank stares and staring off into space.
Yeah, they're not engaged.
Right. So it takes a special skill for those people who are constantly getting a revolving door of different volunteers to come in, to have the sanity and the patience to work with people who don't know what they're doing. A lot of times they're scatterbrained, but want to help a lot. To take that eagerness, but that what greenness or that lack of knowing what's going on, taking all that chaos and making it work for God's glory is a skill that I do not have.
Yeah.
And a skill that I think is very underrated.
So we have to do a major shout out to Diane down at the Newcastle.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she was so sweet and so kind and just took such good care of us and her whole team around us. But I have to imagine she was like, oh, these guys are exhausting. Because we just brought absolute chaos.
Yeah, the first place I went, the food pantry, it was the first day. Shout out to Kayla, who was working down there. I was impressed. She had a lot of energy. And the first day, our students had a lot of energy. And we had some of the most energetic students in that particular group.
Yeah.
And my head was ringing from just the loud, excited jubilee that was going on. But we got stuff done, and she was so patient. And
this was down at Light of Life. You're talking about?
Yeah. You didn't go on this one.
Yeah,
this is
I'm sorry.
Our food pantry.
We're bouncing. Zach and I are tired.
Yeah.
And so if our brains bounce from one thought to the other, please stay with us. We really loved this trip, and we wanted it to be fresh in our minds. And our week is about to get very busy, so we're recording early.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead. So Kayla.
Yeah, no, that was all I had to say. Just echoing the point that these people whose passion it is to serve the community have to take people who are willing to volunteer, who don't know what they're doing, but have a willing heart, and they have to mold that person to do the work.
Yep.
And that is a skill that I didn't even realize existed until you get into the nitty gritty and seeing what's going on there. But there's patience, and there's I don't even know. Just God has blessed them with special gifts, and very thankful for their hearts and being able to take our chaos and make it work.
And so we did that project at our Newcastle breadbasket Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, I totally forgot that I was supposed to go back down to Pittsburgh with the team and sort clothes. And oh man, that I thought that was gonna be the toughest one.
Yeah,
it was not.
It was not.
That was not the toughest project. Our toughest project was your mom's house.
Yeah, we went.
And that's not me ragging on Zach or something. We literally went to Zach's mom's house and helped her with the project. We kept telling the students, if you go with us, this is going to be the easy project.
Yeah, we didn't think there was going to be that much work, and there really wasn't that much work. We just, my dad passed away a couple years ago, and so my mom's been by herself. She bought a new house, and she's just been trying to get it up and going. She has a couple dogs, and so she wanted
She has 3 dogs, right?
She has 3 dogs, yeah. An area where she could let the dogs outside and run around and not worry about them running away or, getting hit by a car or something like that. So
Is it just one dog with 3 heads? Cerberus?
Yes. It's the crazy dog from that Harry Potter movie, whatever the first one.
Is it Cerberus?
Fluffy.
They call it Fluffy?
Yeah. No. Seems like that sometimes.
This is 3 dogs.
It's 3 different dogs. They're
3
big.
separate dogs.
Yes, 3 separate dogs. Remember that show, Two Stupid Dogs, the cartoon back in the day?
Yeah.
Back in the early 90s?
Yes.
These are 3 stupid dogs.
These are 3 stupid dogs?
Anyway.
They're show dogs.
Yes, they are. They're top quality hybrid, highly bred.
Hybrid.
German short-haired pointers.
A hybrid.
But anyway, they're big, and they run around very fast and make lots of poo. So
yes,
we
need
a place to contain them. So she has a
Your
kennel.
mom's a hardworking person, though. I
Very much so. And she doesn't like people to do stuff for her. She's that kind of person, very independent. I'll do it myself. So I was thankful that she let us actually help her with some stuff. So the plan was we were going to spread some stone in the back of her yard, in the place where the dog pen was. So we get there, and she already has that done. And
your mom is a hardworking lady.
But she was like, we know it can help you with. She was putting up a fence then around, and so
for the dogs,
and it was a big fenced-in area. She had these big 16-foot cattle panels
that I was not even entering in, like how big this thing should be, because your mom had one idea and you had another idea,
and it worked out.
And I'm like, I'm not even gonna throw my hat into this arena. I'm just gonna let them figure this out.
So and the team, we thought we were just going to move some stone and not that much. But when we got there, like you said, that we weren't expecting to be there very long. But we were there for a couple hours because we put up this fence.
We had a great time
in our backyard. But we had to put in fence posts. So we had this. I don't even know what you would describe.
It's called a fence. It's a post hammer.
A post hammer.
So it's essentially it's like this apparatus that goes over it's like a pipe in the center.
Yeah.
That's
with
weighted.
Handles.
Yeah, and it has handles on the side of it, so you lift it and then you pound it down. It's like this hammer action.
It pounds the stake into the ground.
Holy cow!
But I tell you what, the students got to make fun of you at a level that they enjoyed greatly.
They had such a good time
making fun of Steve.
Because listen, if they can be bonded in something, I'm just glad they're having a good time, right?
So we thought, all right, we'll let each student pound in a post. And so one of our students, the only guy that was left on the trip, we had 2 guys that started. One of them went home early. He had a vacation to go on.
Vacation.
So we had one guy left.
All I ever wanted.
And he's a big, strapping, football player kind of guy. And he goes first, pops this thing, has a little bit of trouble.
And also, I mean, let's talk a little bit about this young man. His family also has, like, a farm.
Yeah.
Essentially. They have animals. He does this all the time.
Yeah. And he pops that thing in the ground. It's a few whacks at it. It goes in. I go next, whack it a few times. It goes in. Steve's like, I'm doing this now. He goes. He starts pounding this thing, and he is at it for, I don't know, several minutes. He's like, oh, my arms. I can't lift this thing anymore. I'm so tired. And so my mom is at the bottom kind of steadying this pole, and she is dying laughing. Now, she's in her late 60s. Well, mid-60s.
Yeah,
she's about to mid-60s, about to retire. She is dying laughing, and she goes, I put this fence up at my other house, and I did all the posts, and Steve can't even do one.
I was putting that thing through concrete or something.
And so all the teens start, he called you Stephanie and all different names.
Yeah.
And
your aunt called me Jason Momoa because my voice. I'm like, I've never heard that before, but thank you, Aunt Kathy.
She was like, and then she goes, yeah, he's disgusting. I don't like him.
Yeah, that was even better. Again, Aunt Kathy, thank you for calling me somebody that absolutely... you're absolutely disgusted by. Yeah, but all the other posts that I put in, I had zero problem.
No,
with.
yeah,
it was just that first one had like rocks or something.
Yeah,
that I was shoving it through.
But that was funny.
I thought my arms were gonna fall off on that first one because I was pounding on that thing for over a minute and it was barely moving. It was like ka-tang, 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 ka-tang. I'm like, Zach, is this thing moving? You're like, keep going. How much longer?
Yeah, so that was funny. So we did that project, and that was pretty much it. We came home
today. We went to church.
Yep.
A friend of ours, one of our former students, she's a children's director at a church down in Pittsburgh, and she and her husband were serving together today, so we got to see both of them. Both of them were students of ours.
Yeah.
It was wonderful to see them and have lunch with them. But yeah, we're home. We're tired. We're ready. I know we're both ready for a nap, but we wanted to just document this and also talk about like the importance of serving while it's still fresh on our hearts and having experienced this. I would say that it was interesting at the end of the message today, and it's probably something this guy says every week. The church that we went to, he's talking about tithing. And, just explaining the importance of tithing. And I think all churches do this to some varying degree.
Yeah.
Tithing, because the money that we give, that first, it's representative of the best of what we have to offer to God. So we give 10% as like, hey, God, this is the first thing I'm going to use my money towards is giving money to you so that your kingdom can be blessed. And yeah, financially, money that is donated to the church, at New Life, for example, it helps benefit the things that we do, like on these mission trips, and helps missionaries all over the world, but it also keeps the lights on here at the church, right. And gives us jobs. It's all of that combined. It's like it's all for serving people. But I always say the greatest gift that we can give is not our money; it's our time.
Yeah.
Like serving others with the time that we have. We have such a limited... have we talked about this? Maybe we have talked about this before. But we have we don't know how much time we have on this earth.
Yeah.
We all have it's all fixed by God. It's a finite amount. He knows how many minutes we have in our lives. We have no idea. So what's the greatest offering that we can give? An offering of our time.
Yeah. And that's what money is in a sense too. We've taken time to make that money.
Oh, that's true.
Out of our week. And he also made the point, when you tithe, it's not like, okay, 10% goes to God and the rest of it's mine. No, all of it is God's.
It's all God's,
right? And we give out of that humbly a portion of it to honor God. Yeah. And it's the same thing with just our time. We think, okay. To do God's work today, I'm going to set apart this amount of time. Mm-hmm. But that's not the way we should be living our life. You do things like we went on a mission trip or serving, wherever God might put you, and it might be volunteering at a food bank or something like that. And we think, okay, we've given God our time today. No, all of our time, when we're serving God with all of our heart, soul, mind, strength, and honoring Him in that way, we live our life in a constant state of serving Him and mm-hmm. keeping our hearts and minds open to seeing the needs in others.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to finish up here and just kind of talk about.
Yeah, we're not going to make this a marathon episode.
No, was this idea of service. And it's very obvious when we do things set apart, like I said here, on a mission trip, we're serving God. But what is service in our life? And it's not just a certain time that we put apart. What is the service of in God's kingdom look like? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask you that, Stephen.
What is service?
What is service, and how can we serve God in all aspects of our life?
Oh my goodness! I mean, service. That's such a huge question.
It's a big, broad question.
It is. It's a very broad question because we could serve God in a multitude of ways. We could serve Him every single moment of the day if we want to.
Let's take about let's
talk about it in practical ways.
Yeah, let's talk about a heart of service.
Okay.
How can we live a life? Like I was saying here, when you think of service, you think of projects.
Yeah, that's
true. But
it's
more than that.
Well, yeah, and I wasn't even getting to that.
Yeah, and going back to that whole thing with 10% of tithing.
Yeah.
It's all the money's God's.
Yeah.
All of our life is God's. How can we have that heart of service?
It's training your brain to put yourself second to everybody else.
Yeah,
that's the truest act of service, because it's fulfilling the great commandment, right? Is to love God and love others. So if like once we get the portion of that correct, where we're like serving God, and worshiping God, we could serve others in the same way, and it completes the full circle. It's constantly saying to yourself, I'm not the one that needs, others need.
Yeah.
And that could take place at school.
Yeah.
It could take place in your workplace. It could take place at the gas station. It could take place at the pool in the summertime. It could take place at the playground. It could take place in the gym. It could take the list goes on and on and on and on. You're constantly looking around and saying, how can I be a blessing to others?
Yeah.
And not think just about how can I be blessed, which is the natural response for humans. No, how can I be a blessing to other people? That's living a life of service, is just doing for others. You see a need, you fill it.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things. Sarah and I always go back to this, especially when we used to do premarital counseling. It's one of the best pieces of advice. My brain is not doing well right now. Best pieces of advice we got from our premarital counseling from Pastor Matt Garrison, the legend. He said to us, so many couples are like, they sit back and they're like, why isn't so-and-so doing this? Why isn't she doing this? Why isn't he taking care of this? He's like, the best advice I can give you is when you see a need, fill it.
Yeah.
When you see that there is something going on and you could help out in some way where you're not just inserting yourself, but you could simply take care of a need for somebody else, do it.
Yeah.
You're going to bless them. It's going to glorify God if you're doing it out of the true goodness and love of Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. And that's the mentality we have to be. Stop making it all about, I didn't get this and this isn't fair to me and blah. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I can't take that, man.
Yeah.
Life is not about you.
Right.
It's about all of us.
Right.
It's all of us living in this world together and doing it for the one who has given all to us.
Yeah. I think the thing that annoys me the most is selfishness. Yeah.
I'm selfish, though.
I am selfish, too. But, man, when I see that, I think that frustrates me the most when I see selfishness. But I guess in a practical sense here about serving, I talked about the big heart thing. Then how can we serve? Like you said, you see a need, you meet the need. But I think there's also value in finding something that you can serve in a routine way as well. Whether that may be volunteering at your church to help out, hey, in the student ministry, or once a week or whatever.
It's not a commercial.
No, but or hey, this local food pantry, ours is once a month. Mm-hmm. Lots of them are once a week or maybe once every couple months or something like that. Putting that on your calendar first.
Yep.
And saying, okay, I'm not going to take my vacation this week because I'm going to serve this week.
Yep.
Or something like that. And having a routine and then also the heart of a servant. So you have something, okay, I'm serving God in this weekly, monthly, whatever that may be. But I'm also keeping my heart eyes open to needs and then helping people to meet them as well. I think that's sometimes I like to break things down, big, complex topics like that, into bite-sized, manageable things for my brain so I can think about how can I serve and not just say I'm going to serve. Yeah, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And then just nothing ever happens, and I'm not useful.
It's all about pacing yourself too, because I mean, there's going to be so many things that are going to come across your way. They're going to seem great, but then you're going to get burned out on it.
Yeah.
Pick a few things and do them.
Yeah.
But it's a matter too of like looking at your schedule and saying like, what am I actually filling my schedule with? Is it a lot of time wasters? There's a good chance there is. I think we all have do things that don't need to happen. And so what are we doing to combat that, to actually serve God? And, you know, your church, whether you go to our church or you go to whatever church you might go to, they need help. Yeah. Whether it's holding doors for people or it's watching children or it's, you know, cleaning up after service or it's whatever the case might be. Like needs need to be met. If it's in your community, if it's, you know, at a local bread basket, or it's a nursing home that just needs people to come in and you know, show love to somebody that doesn't get to see people whatever the case might be, do something that is not for you.
And I think another thing, and I look past this a lot, we think of serving others, but that could also start in your home. Serving your family. Like
that should be first.
That should be first, right? Serving, you know, if you're a teenager, serving your parents, husband serving your wife, wife serving your husband. A lot of times, and we can be very selfish just with our own families. Like, all right, I know I'm tired. I'm going to relax, make dinner, you know, get stuff done. No, wait a minute. I should be serving too. We have this. We can be first. We have selfishness in all aspects of our life, and starting there first. And if you're a teen listening to this, it's not, when are you going to make me dinner? And your parents are hard, you know, working all day, come home. Well, hey, today I'm going to make dinner.
Or just
today,
help with an aspect of dinner.
Yeah, I'll help. Hey, I'll take the dishes today or something.
I'll take the dishes, or I'll chop this up for the meal, or like it make it a time too, where you're not just serving, but you're talking.
Yeah, and sometimes we think serving is these big projects, which are great, and the community needs help, but. And we look past serving little ways in our home. And we don't want to do I don't want to do dishes. I'd rather go down to the food pantry and help them do dishes in my own house.
You know, I love doing dishes.
You really?
I do dishes all the time.
I don't mind it anymore. We have a dishwasher, but that was the one chore that I had as a kid.
At the old house, you didn't have a dishwasher?
No. My mom just moved into this house 3 weeks ago, and this is the first time she's ever had a dishwasher in her life.
Are you kidding me?
And she doesn't want to use it. And I'm like, are you crazy? Dishwashers are amazing. Use the dishwasher. Yes, it's helping you.
Get it done.
Yeah, but no. Growing up, that was me and my brother's chore. I was the washer, and he was the dryer.
Oh.
And so after dinner, every day after dinner, I had to wash all the dishes, which...
What'd your sister do?
She was the young one. She did nothing. She's probably listening to this and could tell me all the...
You think she's listening to this?
No, probably not. But, so I hated doing dishes. So whenever Laura and I got married, we didn't have a dishwasher to begin with.
Yes.
And so an act of service for my wife would be to wash the dishes. Like, that would be me stepping up above and beyond what I wanted to do, was to wash them stinking dishes. It might not seem like a lot, but I hated it.
Yeah.
But I probably didn't do it as nearly as much as I think I did, because every time I did it, I thought I like, you know, cured cancer. Because look what I did. You need to say I did an amazing job.
All right, now do that every day.
Exactly.
It's like, I need praise this one time.
Yeah.
I know. I think every guy's guilty of that on some level. It's like, look what I did. And then your wife's like, yeah, I do that every day, dummy.
Yeah. I made dinner tonight, yes, but I made the other 6 nights of the week.
Yeah, the other 6 nights was all me. Yeah, so men, do something kind for your wives on a more regular basis without any expectation of anything in return.
Oh,
there you go. Maybe we're starting to get off track. I think we're tired, man.
Yeah, but I think that's...
Yeah, I think that sums it all up in 40 minutes.
That's not too bad. The heart of Christ was to serve. He served.
That's who Jesus was.
Yep. He came to serve, right? Mm-hmm. He came to love us. He came to die for us ultimately. But while he was here, he served, he healed. He didn't take... And we talked about this a little bit on one trip. Someone said, one of our teens said, you know, talk about celebrities. And that, you know, if Jesus was here, he'd be a celebrity. And no, Jesus was not here to be celebrated, right? He was here to serve. He became well known through the mighty acts that he was doing, but they were humble acts. They were serving.
Yeah, and he would never want. Anytime he knew that people are going to start coming around him and like celebrating him,
Yeah.
is when he would take off.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not what I'm about.
Right.
And then he would be gone.
Right.
From an area. So yeah, I mean, that's Jesus' heart in all that he did. And that's the funny thing. Like, you look at celebrities.
Yeah.
Ugh, so gross. That they do these acts of kindness, but they post it all over their social media. It's all over like whatever crap news
Right. What's
outlets.
Jesus say? Don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing.
Exactly. Just do things because you want to do them, not because you want other people to know that you did them.
Right.
Like, that's what life's all about, and you will be blessed because of it.
Right.
So I think that's enough, Zach.
Yeah. Start in your home.
Start in your home, and then go out into your community.
Get something on the calendar. Serve on a routine basis, but then also just have a heart of service.
Yep.
In your home, in your school, with your friends, family.
Yep.
Yeah. Honor God in that way.
Well said, man. All right. I think that's it.
That was episode 8.
Episode 8, and we did not mention.
Well, I'm Zach.
I'm Steve.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
But we're going to talk about Kenny Pickett.
Well, we got to talk about Kenny Pickett.
How about this new stadium downtown?
Welcome to In the Pocket with Pickett, our post-show show.
Yes. So I saw.
Guess what today is, Zach?
Today is, I don't know.
It's Mason Rudolph's birthday.
Ah.
You know the best gift he could give us? Leave. That's what I would say. Get out of Pittsburgh, Mason.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But we were down in Pittsburgh and we were driving around the stadiums, and it's no longer Heinz Field. It is Acrisure Stadium.
The worst name for a stadium ever.
I can't even comprehend.
I thought you were like listen, like you turned your head, and I thought you were like listening for people, like just the moans.
The moans, yes.
The moans coming up from Pittsburgh.
No, I just couldn't look at you any longer because of the animosity.
Look at me like I came up with the name Acrisure or whatever it is. Terrible name for a stadium.
Yeah.
Especially, it's not even Pittsburgh based.
Yeah, I know. What is up with that?
Like UPMC.
You got all kinds of money. Every time you go there, you get an MRI.
I know. I get a bill for like $7,000.
You sell a kidney in order to pay for my MRI.
Called UPMC Field. The Panthers play there.
I know, the Pitt Panthers.
University of Pittsburgh Medical Center.
Come on, Acrisure Stadium.
Get it.
That's ridiculous.
I'm not happy about it.
No. But one thing we did see, we went to a local.
We went to Rally House.
Yes, a place.
It's not local though. Did you know that?
It's a national place.
It is a national thing, but they do whatever the regional teams are.
Yeah, so the
well.
Sports memorabilia store down there. So we went in there and they had some awesome shirts. We were thinking about getting them because it said
Pittsburgh. I really wanted those shirts. They had one that was Panthers colors and they had one that was Steelers colors. And Zach and I really were debating. $32 for a T-shirt.
Ridiculous.
I cannot justify $32 for a T-shirt.
Ridiculous.
You know the max amount I'll spend on a T-shirt now is, Zach? $6. T-shirts should never be more than $6.
Is this like a Target or Walmart?
Target's Goodfellows shirts are the most comfortable T-shirts ever.
$6.
I'm wearing one right now.
Nice.
It was $6.
Nice.
Which luckily I bought a shirt while we were down there because we were at our hotel.
Yes.
And
the air conditioner leaked all over your stuff.
All over my duffel bag. It was like, I don't know how it got that wet.
You're like,
all my clothes.
Like something, my clothes feel wet. And
they smell terrible. Yeah. Air conditioner leaked. Okay. It like soaked my duffel bag. It was horrible. So this morning at 7 o'clock, I had to go to Walmart and buy myself a new pair of pants.
Yeah.
And I had to get some pants because all my pants were wet.
And they were out of shorts at Walmart.
They didn't have any shorts, so I had to buy a pair of like dungarees or something. Got Zach a nice pair of sunglasses.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, whole $15.
I went out all week squinting.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I offered him my sunglasses, and he said, no, those were on your face all day. And I was hurt. I was hurt a little bit because I thought that insinuated that I'm gross.
Well, we were working and sweating.
It's not incorrect. I don't think you're wrong.
Here, wear these sunglasses that have
I sweated on
they can't
for
see
hours.
Because of the sweat that's
Oh, my goodness. When we were working at your mom's house, I took my hat off, and I didn't realize how much I was sweating, and I'm bald now, so the sweat just pours off my head. It doesn't get caught in any hair.
Well, you also got a new hat, and so the other hat you had like ventilation.
It did
in the
have
back.
ventilation.
This one is
my
not.
new hat. I've gotten 3 hats in a month.
Yeah,
I got it.
You have a problem.
It's time to stop.
Got a
It's
problem.
time to stop. I think I need an intervention.
I think you do.
Like, but if I'm aware of the fact that I need an intervention, do I still need an intervention?
Like a hat burning or something.
No, I didn't say like get rid of all my stuff. Burn my hats.
Ridiculous
I'm
thought.
gonna jump in the pyre. But yeah, a pyre is a ceremonial burning.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that from How
that
to Train
Indiana
Your
Jones?
Dragon.
Oh gosh,
It's good
How to
movies.
Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon 2. They had his father died. They sent him away on the little raft made of wood.
I just remember it from Return of the Jedi. The funeral pyre
Oh yeah.
that Darth Vader was melted on.
Gross.
I mean, he's mostly a robot at that point, right? Anyway,
Anyway, that's
I have no idea. What were we talking about originally? Yeah, we're too tired now. All right, that's it.
That's it.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah,
We'll see you.
we'll see you next week.